Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to show you how to do layered nail stamping. So this is a highly requested nail stamping video. People want to know how to do layered stamping, so I'm going to show you 5 different layered nail stamping designs in this video. So what is layered nail stamping? So layered nail stamping is where you're able to stamp several different nail stamping images on top of each other, and you're able to use different colors so you get a more colorful nail design without having to do reverse nail stamping. And if you're interested in learning how to do reverse nail stamping or just get started with nail stamping in general, I do have a couple videos for you that I've already done. One on reverse nail stamping, and I'll link it in the cards above and in the description box. Then I also did a beginner nail stamping video. If you're interested in getting started with nail stamping but you don't know anything about it, be sure to check that video out first. This layered nail stamping is more advanced, so this is for people who have been nail stamping for a while. In today's video, I will be using Clear Jelly Stamper, nail stamping plate, and some of their nail polishes. They are the creator of the layered nail stamping. So they have a variety of different plates and stampers, anything you need for nail stamping. I do have an affiliate code for Clear Jelly Stamper. It's Teri WN10, and I'll leave a link for that where you get 10% off your order. So if you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe if you have not already. And there's also a new button called the thanks button. It's in the like button section, and if you hit that, you can donate monetarily to my channel. You do not have to do it, but if you do, I really appreciate it. All right, so let's go ahead and get stamping. So I'm going to be doing this layered nail stamping tutorial using this one stamping plate by Clear Jelly Stamper. It's called Pattern Pumpkins CJS 220. So if you're interested in getting this stamping plate, that's the name of it. So you can hopefully find it easier. I'll also try to link it in the description box. And I do have a 10% off discount code that you can use, and I'll leave that in the description box as well. So this is a brand new plate. I've never tried it before. What I like about Clear Jelly Stamper is that they include this little sheet with each stamping plate, so you can see how the images would look layered, so you don't have to kind of figure them out by yourself. It gives you some examples, so that's really helpful. I'm going to start off by removing this blue plastic. Again, I've never used the stamping plate before, so I need to prep it properly. So I start by just removing the blue plastic film. You cannot stamp over this, so make sure you remove it. And then I'm going to rub the plate down with some pure acetone in a cotton ball. This just removes the sticky layer. But hopefully if you're watching this tutorial, you're probably not new to stamping. So what I'm saying to you might be, you might already know this, but just for those who may be more so beginners, it's just a reminder to clean your plate before you start to make sure it's ready for stamping. So this is a really great fall nail stamping plate, and there's a lot of great images. So we're going to do several images today. Well, I'm going to show you several images today. I'm going to start off with a more simple layered stamping image. I'm using this leaf design. So I'm starting with a green nail stamping polish, and I'm going to scrape the base of it. So the thing about layered stamping is you have a lot of designs that have a lot of space, and to me those are the hardest designs to pick up when you're nail stamping, because you kind of have to get a really even swipe of nail polish over the image to pick it up fully. Hope that makes sense. But the bigger designs are a little bit harder to do that. So just make sure you get a good swipe on the polish or on the stamp, and then a really good clear jelly stamper to pick it up. So for layered images, you do have to use a clear stamper. so you can see where you're putting the images on top. Clear Jelly Stamper is the inventor of these clear stampers, so they have really good ones. Alright, so I struggled picking up this little image right here. I left this in the video to show you that nail stamping is a learning curve, so sometimes you're not always going to be able to pick up the image on the first try. So when I can't pick up an image, I just, use pure acetone to clean the stamping plate, and then I like to try tilting the stamping plate and swiping a different direction to see if that helps. It's also harder, like the images around the edges are a little bit harder to pick up than the images in the center. That happens with most stamping plates. So you kind of have to find the right angle to swipe at. So that pickup was definitely better than the first one. I don't think it picked up 100%, but I'm gonna go with it because it looks fine to me. And then you're just going to line it up, and you can see it through the stamper to line it up to the best of your ability. It's never gonna be perfect, and it doesn't have to be. It still looks good even though it's not 100% centered. And that's what that looks like. Very easy, simple nail design. And this plate has other options that you can layer this with this leaf design, but I just chose the simple basic one for our first go around. Next, I'm going to do this sunflower image. Since it's a sunflower, I'm going to do the base color in this bright yellow. Pick that up. And then you're going to remove any excess images that you picked up on the stamper. Remove that with a lint roller. Once the design is clear, you're going to center the design where you want it on the nail and just press down. And that's what that looks like. So for the center, I'm using this green, and in hindsight, I probably should have picked a different color for the inside, but we're rolling with it. So again, remove any excess images that you picked up on the stamper, and then center it. And when I was trying to center this design, I was like, is this the right design? Because it didn't fill up the whole entire hole, but again, I'm just rolling with it. I just place it in the center. Next, I'm going to use this like bronzy metallic color. And there's these little tiny dots that go into the center of the sunflower. And I really struggled picking up this image. It's like, I guess it's because they're like little tiny dots. It was just really hard to pick up. And again, if you're having trouble picking up an image, keep trying. You can try, there's several things you can try. You can try tilting the stamping plate and swiping in a different direction. You can try using a different stamping polish because maybe that one's not working or it's drying too fast. You can try to use a different stamper, which is what I'm using now, and I actually picked up when I used a different stamper. But there's lots of things you can try, so don't give up. But I think this nail polish was just drying very fast because even though it picked up, like half the image didn't stamp down, but it's fine. You can also use a sticky base coat to put on top of the image, and when the nail polish dries too fast, if you use a sticky base coat underneath, it's able to transfer that image a little bit better. But we're just moving on. So the last layer, I'm using the brown to stamp on top so you can see the little petals of the sunflower. So it took me a while to find like how to center it because the way I had it was actually upside down. So I finally figured that out. So I found out the proper placement, and then I just pressed down on the nail. Again, it doesn't line up perfectly, but it still looks really good. So that is my sunflower. Again, I should have picked a different color for the center, but this is what we have. So those are pretty easy images. We're going to do another easy image, but just a full cover image. So they have a couple full cover images at the bottom. This plaid design. I'm going to use this yellow. And I'm using my square stamper because it's able to pick up the whole image. And I'm centering that on the nail and pushing straight down and kind of rolling over the nail and slowly pulling the stamper off and pushing down any excess on the sides. So if you're doing this on your natural nail, you can, just push down any flyaways and then remove the extra with like nail polish remover. That's what we have. Now I'm taking this like light blue, pale blue, and applying that over the image. Now, these clear jelly stamping polishes are a little thin, so you might want to try covering the entire image with the polish so you can make sure you're picking up everything. So now I'm just centering that in between the yellow and pressing down like I did before and slowly pulling up and then pushing down any excess flyaway. I bought a whole bunch of clear jelly stamping polishes, and they are thinner than I'm used to, so you kind of have to move pretty quickly. So it's kind of hard because I was filming, so I wasn't moving as fast as possible. Alright, so the next image is a little bit more challenging. Maybe not, I don't know. There's a little bit more layers to it. So I'm going to do this truck image. So I'm starting with this red nail polish, and I'm doing it over black, which may not have been the best choice because these stamping polishes aren't super opaque, but it still showed up. So I'm swiping in the direction of the truck, so hopefully the pickup will be good, and it was. So I'm just removing any excess stamping images I got on the nail stamper with my lint roller. If you don't have a lint roller, you can use Scotch tape. And then I'm pressing that down on my nail. See, because the stamping polish is not very opaque over black, it kind of blends in a little bit, but you can still see it. It just kind of changed. It's not a bright red truck. It's kind of like a orangey red truck now. So next I'm going to do the little pumpkins on the back of the truck. So they have the pumpkins on the back of the truck, and I'm trying my best to layer that on there. And I layered it a little bit crooked. But again, with layered stamping, it doesn't have to be perfectly layered, perfectly centered, perfectly straight. It's still going to look really nice. Next, we're going with this ivory cream color. This image goes on top of the truck, and you can see that swipe was terrible, but it's because there's like a little bump on the edge, so it's kind of hard to swipe evenly. So I had to do it again. So I rotated the plate in a different direction and swiped the other way, and it still was a little hard to swipe the image, but I was able to pick it up and it looked fine. Just take your time centering. You don't have to move super fast, but don't be too slow either. And that looks really good. So we still have the little leaves that go on top of the pumpkins. Of course, I'm going to do that in green. The small images, you definitely want to move a little bit faster than the larger images because they are going to dry faster. Alright, and the last step on this truck is to add the wheels, so I'm going to do that in white. If you wanted to do the wheels individually, you can also do that as well, but to save time, I did them together. That's the final image. I think that one's my favorite off the plate. So next we have these big sunflowers. They have several different centers, and you can see there are different patterns. So I'm going to use the plaid pattern. And when you have like several different layers, it's honestly best to have complementary colors that kind of go from dark to light. So if you're starting with your darkest shade, you want to go to your lightest shade. If you're starting with your lightest shade, then you want to go to your darkest shade. So I stamped this center image twice because I have a dark base coat and these polishes aren't that opaque over dark colors. So I'm just doing it twice to hopefully make that center stand out a little bit more. Make it more opaque. And I think it helped a little bit. So you can see I'm going darker. You know, I started with that orange, which is looking more mustard when I stamped it over the green. Now I'm doing this dark brown. And it's not a super dark brown. I do have a darker brown, but it's definitely darker than that orange. So that's the plaid. You center that over the nail, press it down. Next, I'm gonna do this yellow for like the actual petals of the leaves. And this is gonna go around the center. So I actually stamped that again because it was a little bit crooked when I was looking at it. I just stamped it weird, so it kind of made it not round anymore, so I wanted to redo that. Again, removing the excess images and stamping that carefully around the center that we have on the nail already. Alright, that looks pretty good. And I didn't show the swipe for the little petals, but I used a really dark brown, the darkest brown I had. And I honestly didn't center this properly. I think I stamped it upside down. And then a little piece came off. So again, with the thinner line images, you have to go a little bit faster because the polish dries. I tried to stamp it on, but it just was too dry. So what I ended up doing was applying a little bit of a sticky base coat. This base coat is by Clear Jelly Stamper, and I just realized I spilled half of it in my drawer, which was sad. But the sticky base coat, it helped me to get that last little piece of image down on the nail. So now I just decided to add a few of these leaves to the bottom because, again, I stamped the flower petals upside down, so there's like a little bit of extra yellow space at the bottom. So I just decided to add some leaves to this image to kind of cover that up a little bit. So the leaf just has the base color, and then I stamped, you know, the leaf outline with, you know, that dark brown, that same dark brown I used. Okay, so for the last design, I tried to be super advanced with this one. So I wanted to start with a full cover image, so this plaid image, and then I wanted to do some layered stamping on top of that. So I'm doing these pattern pumpkins, and I started off with this orange, but the orange didn't show up well because, you know, I stamped that full cover image in white, and it just didn't show up well. So I actually decided in this last stamping design that I was gonna go from dark colors to light colors, and I think I showed up a little bit better, but it's still very busy. So I'd already stamped down the orange, and I just stamped the same image in a dark brown, and I stamped that on top, and you'll see that on the end. I'm actually showing all the stamping first, and then you'll see how it comes out layered at the end. So you stamp the main pumpkin, the leaves, and the stem of the pumpkin. Then you have this large plaid design that goes on top. And then there's a center design next to it that kind of goes in between the plaid. And again, I'm trying to go from dark colors to light colors so it layers nicely. And these are the results. So I have that full cover plaid image. I stamped that, and I had to push it down on the sides a little bit because it was coming up. And again, I didn't like how the orange looked, so I just stamped a dark brown on top of that orange. And you can see a little bit of orange peeking out, so I think that adds some dimension to the pumpkin. Then I did the little stem and leaf of the pumpkin. And then added the patterns on top. So I did this ivory color on top of the dark brown. And then in the center, I did that orange or yellow, whatever color this is. And that's the final design. So I think that's cute. I think the background is a little bit too busy since the pumpkin is busy as well, but you know, it's fine. So I added a glossy top coat to all of these, and this is the final results. What do you think? I'm also gonna add a matte top coat, so let me know in the comments which design is your favorite, and if you like these matte or glossy. And if you have any more questions about layered stamping, please leave them in the comment section and I will answer those for you. All right, bye y'all. Really hope that video was helpful. Again, if you found it helpful, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any more questions, be sure to leave them in the comment section and I will answer that for you. All right, see y'all later. Bye.